Have you ever wondered how plastic surgeons perform rhinoplasty surgery? So the first step in the rhinoplasty is to make the incision on the skin. We start in the columella at the base of the nose, and then we extend those incisions in just inside the nostrils on each side. This lady has got a large nose and she'd like to have a smaller nose. So what we're going to be doing is what's called a dorsal hump reduction. So I've made my incision, and the next step is to carefully elevate the skin of the nose off the underlying cartilage and bony structure. Continuing to elevate the skin off the structure of the nose. And the first structure that comes into sight is the alar cartilages, or what's otherwise known as the lower lateral cartilages. This gives our nasal tip its shape. These are not actually purple in real life. I just made it so they're easier to see. I've completely elevated the skin off the nose and right up off the nasal bones as well. What you can see here in this Play-Doh model is that this blue is representing the nasal septum. Just underneath the nasal septum we have the upper lateral cartilages, and the top third of the nose is bones. Now I've got my osteotome, which is like a chisel. I'm going up under the cartilage and up under the bone of the nose. Once that's completely elevated, I gently remove the cartilage, which is the blue part, and the bone, which is the white part that was forming her dorsal hump. Just for a moment, because this is just a Play-Doh dummy and not a real life person, I'm actually going to take off all the skin because I want to properly demonstrate to you the underlying structural changes in the nose after we do a dorsal hump reduction. What you end up with after you remove the bone is you actually have a gap here in the bone. And if we were just to put the skin back down there as is, this would look very square and broad at the bridge of the nose. So the next step we actually do in real life is we use a chisel again, or an osteotome. We pop it inside the nostril and we use it to make cuts in the bone here and here, and again on this side, here and here, and that makes the bone flexible, and we actually break the bone. So we push that bone in and break it to narrow down and close the dorsum. And this is why after rhinoplasty, because we're breaking the bone, you'll often see the patient ends up with black eyes here and here after the surgery, because this causes quite a lot of bruising and bleeding under the skin. But other maneuvers that are commonly performed in rhinoplasty to define the tip and make it smaller, to trim parts of the lower lateral cartilages off, and then to use stitches to bring the tip closer together and to make it pointier and more projected. In the next video, I can show you how we change the alar cartilages to alter the tip shape of the nose. I've redraped the skin, and now I'm just carefully stitching the skin incision at the base of the nose. We put the incision in the base of the nose here because it's in a natural shadow line, and this usually heals beautifully and doesn't show up at all. The rest of the incisions that we close up are inside the nose, on both nostrils. Often we'll put on a splint over top of the nose to protect the nose while it's in healing for 1 to 2 weeks. At the end of the procedure, you can see she's got this nice smooth dorsum and the hump has been removed.